every song of Pushpa 2 is belongs to a different category. There is already an item song, and so there is something to compare to. And O Antava became so iconic, so definitely, obviously, there will be comparison. Kissik is being, loved hugely. Generally, I try putting the movie names and try making it like an anthem and all that, and it really worked for this. And Pushpa, Pushpa, Pushpa. It should be very laid back. So boom, 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 boom. Ding, Pushpa, 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 Pushpa. I'm a huge fan of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, sir. So I always wanted to have a song that has those grand beats and all that, shot in a very grand way. Actually, Sami and Angaaron have totally different feel attitude, but we wanted to use the word Sami. My principle is, sir, one is not to copy ever. I think being ethical is very, very important for any artist, which I'm not seeing in most of the people now.
Rockstar DSP, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure being here. Thanks a lot, Vishal, sir.
You're back this time with the highly anticipated film Pushpa, The Rule, or Pushpa 2. Everyone is grooving to the beats of Angaro, peeling the new song that dropped a few days ago, and the rock solid Pushpa Pushpa.
First of all, I would like to thank each and everyone for giving so much of love for each and every song of Pushpa 2. Because what happens is, whenever we have an album like Pushpa 1 and a movie like Pushpa 1, anything that's related to the sequel becomes a bigger challenge, right? Because people, first part, there was no comparison. So whatever came was like fresh to just enjoy the music. But when second part comes, what happens is, okay, is this song like that? Is this album like that? Is this thing like that? So I was kind of really doubtful, like, okay, whenever we drop the first song, what are people going to say? But then one good thing that I like about my own self is that I don't carry the pressure of a previous project onto the next project. So even right from the beginning, even when we were discussing with Sukumar sir also, I was always time and again telling everybody that, okay, let's just focus on this project and work on this project as whatever is needed for this project, because that's the way I believe that we should all work for anything. So that's how we worked. And finally, when Pushpa Pushpa was dropped, so everybody gave so much of love to that song, and that song became like an anthem today. And I'm really so happy about it. And nobody even compared it, like, because I think every song of Pushpa 2 belongs to a different category. So that way I'm very happy.
So then what would you like to say to those who are comparing Kissik to O Antava, that song?
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to that point. Because even when Angaaron was dropped, so that one was like, I was very, very sure that from the day one that it will be loved hugely, because again, that's a surprise on the album, because nobody would have expected that kind of an tune or an orchestration, that kind of a very romantic, emotional song in Pushpa 2. So what happens, sir, whenever there is anything that is unexpected, that immediately gets loved. But item song, when it comes, what happens is, there is already an item song, and so there is something to compare to. And whatever became so iconic, so definitely, obviously, there will be comparison. So we're all prepared for that. But in spite of that, Kissik is being, loved hugely, and people are making so many reels, and all kids and elders and old people and whatever, everybody is making, because the concept that we got and the concept that was embedded in the story itself, you'll understand when you watch the movie. The word Kissik and how we got the concept, you'll understand when you watch the movie. Sukumar sir's writing for Pushpa 2 is so strong, and I've been telling right from the beginning that it's one of the peak most writings of anyone that I've heard. So the way that comes from the subject and the way it forms into a song is like a journey in the song, in the movie itself. So, and also the concept is about clicking pictures and all that. And nowadays, pictures have become a major part of our life. Either we taking our own pictures, or people taking our pictures, or we taking pictures of random people. So I think that way people really connected. And Chandra Bose sir gave amazing lyrics, the original version. And Rakib Alam sir also did a great job for the Hindi version. So finally, Kissik being, received with so much of love, and it's become a big entertainment song. So that way, I'm very, very happy.
DSP, you really raised the expectation when the title song was dropped in May earlier this year of Pushpa 2.
So
what kind of soundscape you had in mind when you started work on Pushpa, on the music of Pushpa 2.
So I'm really happy that you said this because Allu Arjun also when Pushpa Pushpa was launched, he called and he was so happy and all the languages, including Bengali, really worked and people were loving it. And he said, I never imagined Bengali or song would sound so good in Bengali. He was saying. Then he said, this song actually, he called me and said, David, this song has taken the expectations 10 times higher at least. So I was so happy because the first song made, then I said, I told Allu Arjun and also Sukumar sir that, okay, if whenever we cross the first song, that means all the other songs are definitely going to be loved because the first one is always going to be the biggest test. I think people have so much of love for the music and the movie also for Pushpa. So we're also blessed that whatever we release, people are just loving it. Recently, when the Mumbai press meet happened, Sukumar sir and I were not able to make it to that event because we were like checking all the final mix of and the background score and the final mix of the movie and all that and all the deliveries and all that. So when Bhushan Kumar sir spoke, he said that DSP has given such great music to Pushpa 1 and it's not easy to face the challenge of a sequel, but in spite of that, he made an album that's on par with this and people are loving the songs and he made a great album. So that coming from Bhushan sir himself and from the dawn of the Indian music audio label. So I think I really felt happy about that. And after Peelings was dropped, I was getting this compliment from so many people. I don't know, as a wholesome album, people are loving it. And so I'm really so happy that I think even to reach that point was definitely a challenge, I guess.
So then the title song featured the voices of Nakash Aziz and Mika.
Huh.
And it's a very layered song.
Yes.
It sounds like it's Allu Arjun's character's entry song.
Yeah, exactly.
How much time it took you to crack the title track of the film?
Okay, so that's an interesting question, sir. So when first time when Sukumar sir narrated the script of Pushpa 2, actually we were so thrilled. Like generally how we listen to Chandra Bose sir, the original Telugu lyricist. In fact, Chandra Bose sir is the one who got the Oscar award for
Oscar,
Natu
Natu
Natu.
Natu.
You all know that for the lyrics of that. So he's a legend, and Sukumar sir, I call him Sukubai. He's another legend. So when he was narrating the story to us, Chandra Bose sir and I were like at least 3 times or 4 times in the first half ka narration mein, we were clapping, thinking that, okay, is this the interval? He said, no, there is next scene. Oh, this next scene. Oh, is this the interval? Is this it? So every scene has got that high, high. So that really thrilled us. Then we thought, okay, how should the first song be? Then we were like figuring out, like, okay, first song should be like, okay, this is the scene where he comes in. It should be like an anthem. So I thought, okay, since Pushparaj has already become a household name, it's become like a brand name, like Pushpa. There's nobody who doesn't know the name Pushpa or the movie Pushpa. So I thought, okay, let's make an anthem out of this. Generally, I try putting the movie names and try making it like an anthem and all that. And it really worked for this and Pushpa. And Chandrabose sir immediately came out with some lyrics, like because his mannerisms also, that Dadi pe haath pere, sari duniya hille and all that. So we just came out with a few words like that. And I was thinking, I wanted to have a very unexpected groove for that. Generally, first song means they think, okay, that's what it and fast. No. So I want to keep it very cool because the attitude of Pushpa is very cool. He's like, he has that swag and he doesn't get tensed for anything. So I wanted that to transform into music. That was my basic idea of making Pushpa
Building
Pushpa.
the crescendo.
Yeah, building the exactly. So I wanted some kind of a note that creates some curiosity in the like it should be very laid back. So Pushpa. The Raj should go. So I got some crazy ideas like that, and you won't believe me. So we heard the subject, then like how I did Srivali also happened like that. So I went to the room. Then all this was running in my mind. I was telling my rhythm player, like, dum, dum. Let's give a slow groove. And we started jamming on the guitar. And within like 10 or less than 15 minutes, I think about 10 minutes, I figured out the whole mukda of Pushpa. Then I called Sukumar sir and Chandrabose sir to our room and then to the composing room. As soon as they played Pushpa, 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 Sukumar sir and Chandrabose sir started grooving, and Sukumar sir got up and started dancing next to the sofa. So it's a this is like really rocking. In fact, the way I compose, most of the tunes when I compose, they've got some gibberish words and also some Hindi words sometimes which don't make any sense also. So like then something like that I was singing.
But then, how you thought of Mika? Was he always the first choice?
Yeah, from the time I composed this song, because see the style
And
of
the
voice
Nash
is,
also.
yeah, because that song needed two singers. Okay, so there is one voice that is telling about the hero, and then there comes these phrases what the hero is saying. So I wanted two very well defined, very strong voices. The first one, though, I had a lot of processing. I made it like octave. I used octaves or layers, and the pushpa, 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 pushpa. That's my voice. Okay, so I sang the deep vocals and then processed it, and then I made Nakash Aziz sing, and I processed his vocals, and then when this open part comes, when no 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 no, so then I wanted that Mika Bai kind of singing. So then it really worked. So every language I had to choose two singers according to who will sing the best in that language, and then this happened, and then that song went viral and it became like an anthem. Like even now when Pushpa is announced, everybody is starting the Pushpa, 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 Pushpa. They're singing that, and then the first day we composed this, about like 5-10 minutes that was done. And the second day we sat and we were discussing about this song where Sukumar sir was very, it was his manifestation, and it was his concept that, he wanted to have a song where every husband and wife would relate to, or every couple would relate to, or every girlfriend, boyfriend would relate to. And he said, okay, if I get a guy like this, no, I mean, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. That kind of meaning he wanted. So we thought, okay, let's work on this. And Chandrabose really, really worked on some beautiful words. But this one, even before the words were written, I always had this. I'm a huge fan of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, sir. Okay. So, I mean, who's not a fan of his movies and his songs and his visuals, especially? So I always wanted to have a song that has those grand beats and all that, shot in a very grand way. So even Sukumar sir knows that I love his visuals, Sanjay Leela Bhansali sir. So then I told, I called Sukubai. I always had this, kind of a song. I mean, like I wanted to make this kind of song in mind, but I think this song I can try doing something like that, but in a very in our own style. Like that should have a little flavor of Indian, mix of South Indian, North Indian, all that, which would blend both the worlds together. But then I want to use those North Indian doles and all that, keep that rhythms very North Indian, but the feel very, very earthy, not even like South Indian, North Indian, but very earthy and very Indian, where a wife is singing with so much of love that, see, this is the greatness of my husband. So he kind of liked what I said. He said, okay, tell him whatever you want, Then let's go with some huge visual, because he had one very huge festival and visuals happening in his mind. So even this song, since it was already my desire to make a sound of that kind of song, of that magnanimous sound. So I went and I was thinking, okay, what rhythm to figure it out? What rhythm? Then the first time, you won't, how I sang. तेरे नैनों में तेरे धान धान धीरे धीन धीरे धीरे धान धान धीरे धारे तेरे अखियों में मेरे धूम धाम गर धीम धाम गर धान धान दर दाने तानने नारे तानने आए रे तानने मेरे दिल में धूम बता के धरी नारे 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 कुछ तो बोलो रे, something like that. It didn't make any sense, but as soon as I sang तेरे नैनों में तेरे धान धान दर धीन धान दर धान धान दर धारे, again Sukha sir got up and both sir got up, both of them started like dancing together, like as though they were acting, in the song. So I got excited. We even have a video of that. I think after the release I should post this video. So they both started dancing and we all started dancing in the room. So, and I was so happy that they loved this, because I was wanting to do a song of that nature. So
Tribute
that's
to
what happened. But
talking
then,
to Sanjay Leela Bhansali.
Yeah. So I keep telling this to everyone, like, so everybody knows that I'm a huge fan of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, sir. He's kind of the visuals and the choreography and the music put together. He creates some another kind of a world. Then I thought, okay, it would be nice if Shreya Ghoshal could sing this song because all across all the languages she could sing it. And I thought should be the best expression. So then we recorded, and Shreya got so excited listening to the song. So whenever Shreya and I record, I have this habit of she actually makes fun of me. Like I have this habit of showing her with the whole act. I act out the song. Most of the time, like a girl, I act and I say, this is the meaning of the lyrics. I'm like, when we are recording the Telugu version, I explain her this is the meaning of the lyrics and how the girl is going to act and how it's going to be the walk and the dance. So, and once I tell her, no matter how many years after that we meet, she remembers everything. I don't know how she has that kind of memory. So first we recorded Telugu version, then one by one, as the languages were getting ready, then she flew down to Chennai for all the rest of the languages recording. We did Hindi, then Bengali, everything. And she also, I should also mention that she sat with me and helped me to get the Bengali lyrics right. It was really fun recording with her. Then we also shot um, a kind of a BTS and making video and her singing video, which I want to release soon after the
Film
release of the
release.
movie. Yeah. So then, as soon as Angaaron got released, it went like wildfire. Actually speaking,
It is.
and people
But
are loving that and owning that song. So I'm really so happy.
DSP, your fans, everybody will kill me if I don't ask you to give us few lines of then the title song.
Okay. Pushpa, 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 and Pushpa, 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 तू ताड़ी पे तो हाथ चले सारी दुनिया हिले पुष्पा 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 तू कांधे तो उठा के चले दुनिया हिले पुष्पा 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 राज.
Nice, right. What an energy this song has. DSP, let's talk about Angaro, the song that we were talking about
Yeah.
minutes ago. It's a song which is not only topping the chart, but I believe that this will be going to become the ultimate Dandiya anthem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for saying that.
So then, what was the starting point for Angaro? Because this song sounds like an extension of Sami from part one.
Huh. So actually, Sami and Angaro have totally different feel attitude, but we wanted to use the word Sami as a reference to because see, when you watch the movie, right, every song and every scene somehow will be connected to part one. It is not just another story. It is like how the story is continuing, how their lives are continuing, and even the way Sukumar sir wrote and executed and made the film, and even the way Allu Arjun and Rashmika and everybody acted, even their maturity and how they are looking after, after that in this position, how they you would have seen the trailer and all, right? So the maturity that they gained in life, it looks like real life. I don't know how everybody lived so much in the characters. So that same way we kept the songs also like a development. So there has to be some connectivity. So when we said "Angaaron ka ambar sa lagta hai na 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 na," when we did that, suddenly we thought "Lagta hai mera same ta na 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 bhulunga mera same." So and then I wanted to give that same Swami, Swami. I wanted the same attitude. Even I was telling Shreya, you heard Sami song, right? Like how the girls say, because the entire film in part one and part two, she calls him Sami, which means husband in their culture. So Sami, Adhika Sami, Sami, Esane Sami. So I said, so I want that expression to be retained. So she also took it in and she owned it, and then till there it's a very melodious phrase. We wanted to retain the flavor of that Sami. So when you watch the movie, it is like, okay, the same girl who was his lover that time, like a girlfriend or a love interest, and now she is his wife. So there has to be a certain amount of maturity and also a journey in the song and in the film also. So that's how we try to connect, and I'm glad that you're able to feel the connection.
You've been working from last over 2 decades now.
Yeah.
This is going to be Allu Arjun's widest release.
Yes.
There are huge expectations
Yes, sir.
people have from the film Pushpa 2.
Yes, sir.
Considering the magic of Srivalli, in part two, as a composer,
Yes, sir.
you feel the pressure to compose a soundtrack that should become an instant hit.
So that's what I said. Luckily, I think God has given me a gift that where I don't get pressure at all, pressurized at all. So I don't feel the stress because I'm always in my elements, and that's what gives me the ability to think and focus on what is necessary and what is required for that situation, for that particular film.
Because I'm 100% sure this, I mean, although there are four tracks, but you must have discarded many songs and tunes before arriving on these four.
No, so that's the funniest part. These are the only four songs that we made for the film. So that's what even Sukumar said. So most of my films are like that. Most of the six songs for means we sit, we jam, and when I say okay, most of my films, not only Pushpa, like all the other films that I've done, six means almost all the six have always been first tunes, or sometimes the situation might change, or very rarely we said, okay, instead of this, let's try something else. Not that it should not happen, but in Pushpa, my first, like I said, first day we did Pushpa Pushpa, second day we did Angaaron. Then they went to shoot and we had some time to work. So then, like I said, Kissik, that word existed from the script itself, from the movie itself.
Okay.
So, but I can't reveal why it is there. But the song also starts with that word, right? अरे सब लोग आए ना अभी एक फोटो निकाल, something he says like take a picture now, किसिक करके. So that's why we put the dialogue also. So which means there's a prelude to that in the script itself, like Kissik Kissik. So when Sukumar sir told me, I found that song very interesting, and he said, this is how it happens. And from there, when the song starts, I want the song starting with Kissik. So then I said, how do I make Kissik? I only have that Kissik song. So how do I make it musical? So then I thought, so randomly I sang to them, then let's make it like kiss, 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 kissika, kissa, kissa, kiss, kissika, kiss, 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 kissika, kissa, kissa, kiss, kissika. So like that. And immediately they loved it. And then I thought, okay, because we wanted this song to be owned by everybody. Like photographs are the most happening thing in our everyday life. Like even if friends come, or even if we go out somewhere, or even if there is a festival or some event or function happening at home. So he says, okay, my friend has come, that guy has come, let's take a picture, let's take a picture. So we thought, let's keep the concept like that. And immediately Sukubai and Bose Garu came out with phrases like, okay, uncle has come, okay, grandfather has come, aunt has come, take a picture, kiss it, like that. So we just developed it like that. So every song happened like that. And then Peelings, when it happened, I was wanting to have one very, very mass number, like how Allu Arjun and my combination were like how top, Lesipodi, all that came, right? Like very massy numbers. So even Allu Arjun was thinking, like, when we think we have to keep a mass number. So there was a situation that fell right into our hands. And then I thought first I worked on the rhythm for this song. So what we're thinking, right from the start to end, it has to keep going like massy and fast-paced number. So that's how I started. Then I go, and in that fast kind of song, generally we don't give a melodious cut like that. We don't usually use rigas like that and all. So I made this, and Bose sir and Sukumar sir heard the tune and they immediately fell in love with it, and then started writing the lyrics for that. And something. Then they came out with this idea of the peelings word, because again you'll understand when you watch the movie. Peelings also came from the script. So that word peelings also came from the script. And you should see the dance moves that Allu Arjun and Rashmika did in that, and beautifully choreographed by Shaker Master. And it's going to be a feast in the theater. I think theater is going to erupt for that.
Then
So,
talking about Allu Arjun and Rashmika Mandanna, were they present during the song recordings?
no, not during the song recordings, but when they heard the song in the location, then Bunny called me, Allu Arjun called me, he said, man, this song is mad, this is massive and all that. We talk a lot. For every song he calls when we talk a lot. And they also called me during the shoot, but I was in Chennai doing the background score and all that. So that time they were actually shooting the song. Ganesh Acharya Master choreographed Kissik, and that also came out really, really beautiful.
You've been composing music, like I said, from last over 2 decades.
Yes, sir.
Which song has taken the least amount of your time to compose? Is there a song? Do you remember?
There's so many, sir. I'm really, I don't know why, when I don't know how much people believe when I say this, but most of the songs happen in a jiffy only. Like how Srivali happened in about, like, I have the original recording also. It happened in about 4.5 minutes exactly, because I just put my phone on record and started like that, and in 4.5 minutes I sang the whole song, like the mukda, the interludes, the antara, and everything. So most of my songs happen like that. Like that's how Pushpa Pushpa also happened. That's what Angaaron also happened. Kissik also, as we were talking, actually we were on a conference call. Uh, so when we were discussing, that's when I said kiss. Both Sukumar sir and both sir like said beautiful. But after that, only that much I said. But later I sat and then worked on the rhythm and that. So then I took, for that song, I took a little time to figure out different ways, because an item song, what happens now? There is no head or tail to it. You can do any which ways. It only depends on how differently you can go. So like that, even when I did O Antava also, I was thinking what to do, what to do, what. Sometimes we keep thinking we won't know what to do, but suddenly the one idea comes and then it happens in 5 minutes. Only. There's a song called Bullet Song in one of my films. So when the director was narrating, I was just sitting on the chair like this in my studio. I said, the hero is a police guy. He comes. So I thought, okay, why can't we use a bike, and why can't we think that bike is kind of a bullet or something? So it'll be like very catchy. So suddenly I said, then he comes and there has to be a song with the girl, with the heroine. So I said, okay, imagine the guy is coming on a bullet and said, come on, baby, let's go on the bullet. On the wheel, party, kill and do it. I just sang like, come on, baby, let's go on the bullet. And I wanted to use an accelerator song like drr, drr, drr. So I made that on spot again. Come on, baby, let's go on the bullet. Drr, 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 on the wheel, party, kill and do it. Drr, drr, drr. And drr, drr. I put out that step also in the lyrical video when we all sang. I made them shoot me, I mean, the director, singer, all of us, and the hero Ram, and we all sang a drr, 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 and that became viral, and that actually became the step of this song. And even now, when I sing that song in my shows, the whole crowd, like recently, like last month when I had my concert in Hyderabad, there were like 35,000 people, like in the crowd. So when I started this song, come on, baby, let's go on, everybody put their hands in like, drr, drr, drr. So my song actually happens with a whole vision. Like I can hear the song, I can feel the song, I can even see the visuals of the song. So even Sukumar sir and all, a lot of directors, they discuss with me, they encourage me a lot to tell them like what I'm visualizing, because I do my shows and plan and I direct my shows and all, right? They say, because you're a musician, you have a vision about the rhythm and all that. So tell me what you imagine. Even Angaaron, when Angaaron was shooting, Sukumar sir called me when I was in Chennai. He said, darling, today we have a huge, big sitting with discussion with Ganesh Acharya Master and all of us, whole direction team and everyone. I want you to come over to Hyderabad and just like whatever you explained while composing, whatever you're telling, right? Like I said, let's use the wind sound, and the girl takes a sari, puts like this, and let her sing. Then first is she's very emotional, then she walks and suddenly she breaks into dance. And I was like a mad fellow, I dance and do everything in the studio. So he said, I want to capture that energy. Can you please come over? And when we're all there, I want you to tell us that. So then I went all the way to Hyderabad. Then we all sat. Then I just showed him all mad things that was in my brain.
And finally, DSP, what is that one principle that you
Oh,
are proud to have
oh,
not compromised on about your
wow.
music?
Sir, nobody has ever asked me this question, I guess. And this is very beautiful, very sensible, and one of the best questions I can say so far that somebody has asked me. My principle is, sir, one is not to copy ever. Okay. Getting inspired automatically happens as you keep listening, but never to give a reason, just to make something similar to something and say, oh, I'm inspired. And that is also copying, according to me. Okay. So even in the beginning of my career, when I just got into music, when I just not even a film old, when I was working on one film, then I got some offers from a couple of big directors who said, okay, we are going to give you these English CDs or song. Just listen to them, just reproduce them for us, and just the same thing. I said, no, sir, I'm here to create music and I'm not here to copy music. And the song that you're playing to me, I have already enjoyed this song, or maybe I grew up listening to this song. I can't do injustice to this song, and I can't take away the credit from that person. So this has been my principle throughout, and all these years I have stuck to that. And another thing is, I think being ethical is very, very important for any artist, which I'm not seeing in most of the people now. like technicians or artists, as humans itself. Look, in humans, I'm not seeing these ethical values much. People are trying to grab opportunities from others, and they are ready to do anything for that too. You being ready to do anything to get an opportunity is different, but you being ready to do anything to grab another person's opportunity is totally different. First one at least is okay, but the second one is not okay. So what, when I started my career, I got this huge film offer from Mahesh Babu sir. So when I started getting an offer from Mahesh Babu sir, film is was a huge thing. Like wow, so people will be waiting to grab that. But there was another music director who was assigned for that, and they sat for like a couple of sittings or 2 3 sittings, but it was not working or something. So they called me and said, this director wants to meet you because it is not working with them. So they want you to do the music. But I knew that music composer. But irrespective of whether I know the music director or no, but I didn't even hesitate. This was my beginning. I was like just like 2 3 films at time. So that was a point where I should have actually grabbed a big film of Mahesh Babu Saleh. But I always stuck to my principles like that. And I knew that someday all these movies are anyways going to come to me. Like if I keep doing my work properly. Um, but it is not right to take away the opportunity of someone else who is with the hopes of doing it. So I didn't even hesitate for a second. I said, no, sir, because you have already assigned it to someone else, I won't be able to take up this project, maybe in the future. So after that, after a week or a few days, I happened to bump into Mahesh Babu sir in a huge awards event. So I was like, sir, I said, Devi, and he's very sarcastic and he's a very nice, kind, and loving person who's very jovial about everything. So he went, Devi, what? I heard you said you won't do my film. That's sir. I said, I didn't say like that, sir. I said like that. Then he laughed and he appreciated me. I still remember that. He said, no, man, I really appreciate your ethics. I didn't expect a youngster like you to stick to ethics like this. I really appreciate it. One day we are going to work together, he said. I said, thank you, sir. I'll wait for that day. He said. So then we worked, and biggest of his blockbusters I did Srimantudu, Neno Kadne, Bharatani Nenu, and he loves me. And he always tells on the stage that Devi is not just a music composer, he's a narrator. He's like a writer. He narrates with music. And also he says, maybe my dad was right. I'm a writer's son. My dad was one of the biggest writers, Mr. Satyamurthy. So he says, maybe because he's Mr. Satyamurthy's son, he knows how to narrate a story with music. And that is the biggest compliment he gives me. So like that, sir. So even so many other times. Actually, another time when we're doing a movie in Tamil, Vikram sir, right? Chia Vikram sir. Yeah. So we did a movie called Kandasamy. The music was a humongous blockbuster, the biggest hit of that year. So after that, he was doing another movie. So Vikram sir told the director that I want DSP to do the music. So the director came to me and producer called me, and Vikram sir himself called me and said, Devi, I'm sending this director. And this is a known fact everyone, Mr. A.L. Vijay. So he'll come and talk to you. I want you to do this. I said, sir, I would be honored and I would love to do this. But what happened was, A.L. Vijay sir said, sir, actually, my last film, G.V. Prakash did the music. While working on that film, I happened to discuss this story with him. And he was also excited, and we came out with a couple of ideas. Okay, when we are working on this film, see, generally that happens, right? When you're working with the director, about the next project, generally the director talks to you and you get excited. Okay, like how Sukhu sir discusses with me, then I get excited, then we discuss on some ideas. Okay, then we'll wait for that film. So he said, so I related to that. I said, Arey, then these guys are a team. So then he said, then he said, so I was thinking we'll work with G.V. Prakash. But then when Vikram sir said we want DSP, then I didn't know what to say. But he said, I love your music. I've heard your song so much and I want to work with you. But for this project, I told him, so I don't know what to do, sir. But I can't be fall. And then I really appreciated him. I said, sir, I really appreciate you that you're standing for your music composer. You're standing for your technician. So I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I called Vikram sir. I said, sir, I totally understand this scenario. I'm so honored that you want me to do the music. Director also loves me, but there is a catch in this. He has already told, he's like a brother to me. Like, again, whatever, even if he's not a brother, no, that's not another music director. So I understand this whole scene, and we should not split them or separate them, sir. And again, Vikram sir was so shocked. He said, I'm shocked that you're calling and telling me, please let the other music director do it. And in spite of me insisting that you should do it. And he said, you will go places. I really hats off to you. And some appreciative words like that he said. I said, thank you, sir. And like I trusted and believed, everything that I deserved came to me.
You're saying it's important to be a good human being first.
Definitely, sir. Whether, irrespective of whether you're a music composer or a director or an actor or an engineer, whatever it is, or a singer, I think ethics should be the most important ingredient of a human heart and mind and body. I mean, you can't, there should not be any human existing without ethics. I can't understand that.
Well, I just want to wish you all the best
Thank you, sir.
for Pushpa 2
Thank
and
you, sir.
all your future projects.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much for taking your time out and
Thank you,
talking
sir.
to
Thank you
me.
so much, sir. I really had a great time talking to you.
Thank you. मेरे को भी बहुत अच्छा लगा. And जाते जाते, would you please like to give a few lines of Angaro?
Okay. अंगारों का अंबर सा लगता है मेरे सामने तेरे राह में फूलों का है मेरे सामने